ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः।
Dear friends, welcome back to the study of the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7 and shloka number 17. We have completed the study of the 16 verses. Today we start on the 17th. Prior to that, as usual, in a short time, let us refresh our memory so that we can keep up the continuity of the thoughts that are being developed by Sri Krishna himself. What did he say? He raised the topic firstly, how to see the presence of the divine everywhere, to see the unique characteristic of a matter or an element. Fluidity of water, the capacity of air to carry sound, the smell of the earth, and so on and so forth. The burning capacity of fire, the manliness of a man by means of which he manifests the divinity of himself, that is potential in him. He has mentioned everything initially. And as we kept on hearing, we find that it is so easy to understand. How come we are unable to do so? He creates the background in such a manner that it arises in our mind. How come, having heard of it 1,000,000 times as it were, but somehow or other I am nowhere near it? Why so? So he introduces the concept of Maya. That which is not so appears to be so. The world is in a continuous change, is in a flux all the time. But we think the world is real, tangible, concrete. But it is transitory, therefore it does not fit in with the definition of reality. But we take it as a real. So he has slowly and slowly introduced the concept of Maya. And then he had developed this concept. There are two different types of people. One, who are very virtuous in nature. And Swami Vivekananda ji, gave a wonderful description of what is vice and what is virtue. That is, what is papa and what is punya. And please bear it in mind, it is an essential teaching, the essence, the cream of Vedic teachings. Any act or deed done physically, done emotionally, done rationally, which leads you towards the awareness of presence of God in your life is virtuous. Absolutely an omnibus description. Whichever act, physical, whichever act, emotional, feeling, whichever act, rational, thinking in the domain of ideas, whichever act takes you towards the awareness of presence of God in your life is virtuous, is punya. Sukriti, good deeds, Sukriti, good deeds. What does it mean? Those deeds are good which helps you to be one with God. And the other word is duskriti. Those acts and deeds which takes you away from God. It is egocentric. It is self-centered, selfish. That is duskriti, that is papa. So, we now know what is sukriti and what is duskriti. Now Sri Krishna says, why does he say so? Not to condemn the dushkritina, not to condemn the people who are not virtuous, but to place before us a choice. What do we want to do? What do we want to become? Sukritina or dushkritina? What do we want to become? This is what he says. Look, there are two types of humans. One is who keep on performing acts and deeds physically, emotionally, rationally, which takes him or her away from God. And why do they do so? Mayaya aparita jnana. That is what he said in the 15th shloka which we have read. Namang dushkritino jana, nama dushkritino mura, prapadyante naradhamaha. Mang na prapadyante naradhama, because they are dushkritina. As clear as that. That is, those people who are not fully worthy of being called an enlightened human being, they have their wisdom totally confused under the influence of Maya, and they do not come towards me, they go away from me. Asura bhavam ashrita. That is one. Why? Would you like to be Naradhama? Would you like to be Dushkritina? It's for you to decide. He is not condemning anybody. Please be very, very clear. All of us, either a saint or a sinner, we are all children of God. We are all manifestation of God. Some of us are totally under thumb of Maya, under the influence of Maya. So, dears, our thinking is totally confused. We are carried away by the influence of Maya, and we live a worldly life, mundane life. And who are the others? There are others who, by physical activity, emotional activity, and rational activity, they allow their flow of life guided by the awareness of presence of the divine. He is in me. He sees everything. He knows everything. He knows me through and through more than I do myself. And I am, a Sukritana Purusha, is aware of it. So he is going towards the awareness of presence of the divine in his or her life. And the other one is going away. And mind you, dear, this distinction in the shloka number 15 and 16, this distinction is being developed to give you a choice what you want to be. Don't think God is sitting on judgment and condemning his children who are Naradhama and the other who is a Deva Bhava Vashrita. No, he is placing the cards before you so that you can ultimately make a choice. And then he says, apart from that group known as Naradhama, Dushkritina, there are Sukrita Purusha. Who are they? Artha, Jigyashu, Artharthi, Jnani. We have studied up to that. Artha is a person who is in such a situation, who is in such a jam that he has no way to go, nowhere to go. He finds no escape and he weeps from himself, "Oh God, help me out." The worldly situation forces him to pray to God when he is in a jam. Otherwise, he doesn't remember. That is an artha. A jigyashu is a person who is a bit enlightened, who has heard about God and His omnipresence, omnipotence, omniscience. Yes, he's heard all that. Says, is it so? Is He really? Does He really exist? Is He there? If so, let us make an inquiry whether it is true or it is a fairy tale or it is a madman's talking, blabbering. Let me see. He is not sure whether God is or is not, but he has a question in his mind, and that question is motivating him towards further inquiry. He is an inquirer about whether God is or God is not. That category is known as Jigyashu. Artharthi. Arthasya, artharthi. That means I desire something intensely in this world. And with my understanding, I find it is well nigh impossible. I know that. But I have heard, if God wills it, it happens. I have heard somewhere. So God exists only to that extent when I feel like praying to Him to give me something which is otherwise impossible to attain. Arthasya arthi, artharthi. That is, I am intensely desirous of an object. I know full well that object is beyond my capacity. Neither, it seems, the world has the capacity to give to me. So I say, "Oh Lord, please fulfill my desire. Please kindly help me. Let me have my desire fulfilled." They also accept God and pray to God with an understanding He is the ruler of the whole show. So you see how the gradation is going closer to God. And the fourth category the fourth group is Jnani. Jasya jnanamasti sajnani. He who has that wisdom, that knowledge, he is Jnani, the knower, the experiencer. What does it mean? He knows, he is absolutely convinced, he has experienced the existence and presence of God in his life. Whether hearing has reinforced his conviction, whether He has seen a form of God in dream, and the dream is so solid, it has an impact on him. Or whether by following the devoted, dedicated, determined practices of life, disciplines of life, he has experienced the presence of the divine within himself. He is the fourth class, the fourth category, Jnani. So these four type of people, they fall under the category of virtuous people who perform virtuous things, and the others are non-virtuous. He has placed before you who are non-virtuous, who are virtuous. Why? For you to pick and choose what type of a person you would like to be, what type of a personality you would like to develop in yourself. This is your personality today. What is it? Maya aparita jnanam. Your awareness, your consciousness has been stolen away, taken for a ride by Maya. And you are not anywhere near to me. You have driven yourself far away from me. That is what one category is. The other category is they perform all the virtuous acts and deeds of life, and they are of four different classes: Artha, or Jigyashu, Artharthi, and Jnani. Then he moves on to the 17th, and you will find out why he is highlighting the Jnani's standard or the status. What is he saying? Tesham, amongst those four categories, Jnani, a person who is a knower. Now, knowing and experiencing are two different words. In our Sanskrit literature, especially the philosophical literature, Jnani is a person who has known intellectually, rationally. Jnani is a person who is aware of the existence of the divine rationally, intellectually. And then, with that rock-solid, crystal-clear, rational conviction, he tries to experience the divine. And that experience is at par with the experience of I am, I exist. I am, I exist. This awareness of this experience does not need any other help. It is sa sambedya chaitanya, self-evident awareness. He says that Jnani Purusha of the four who worship me, Nitta Jukta Eka Bhakti. Two adjectives have been applied against the noun Jnani. He who has known. How does he know? Nitta Jukta. Nitta means without any interruption, without any let, without any hindrance, without any break. The continuity is not broken. Continuity of what? Nitta Jukta. In communion with me. What is the line of communion? constantly thinking of me and me alone. Now, we humans, we always think. Some thought has got possessed of me all the time. Whether I sleep, whether I dream, whether I'm awake, whether I'm alert, thoughts keep on coming in my mind. Sometimes I manage to discipline my thinking and think of one thing. Sometimes I keep on jumping up like a grasshopper, directionless. Don't know where my mind is going. Eka bhakti, nitta jukta. Jukta means to be in communion with. Nitta means uninterrupted. That means, dear, he is a jnani. He fits in the definition of the word jnani. Whose thinking, process of thinking in the domain of ideas is such that he is constantly aware of my presence in him. Without interruption, without let, without hindrance. How can I understand it? Understand it this way. I am aware I am. I'm sorry. I am aware I am. This awareness of my amness is based on separateness. You are, I am. That's separate. Now that separateness disappears. He is in me, I am in him. What I know as I am, a separate entity, is a misnomer, is a mistaken identity, is a misunderstanding of fact of life. What is the real understanding? It is he is in me and he is everywhere as pure existence, isness. And I am aware of it every moment of my life, without any break, without any hindrance, without any interruption. Nitta yukta. Now, I am nitta ajukta, as I am today. I am not aware of presence of God in me all the time. I am aware I am a separate entity, separate from the whole world. And the world is also separateness. To remove that separateness between me and my God is nitta yukta. Ever in communion with, ever in conjoint with, ever in link up with. Ek nitta yukta. One of the qualifications of a jnani. And the next qualification adjective is eka bhakti. He has intellectually known that this diverse manifestation based on the concept of separateness, this diverse concept of separation, separateness, is a mistaken identity induced by Maya. And I will start cultivating the habit so that I know the eternal reality is the divine, the Spirit, the Holy Ghost, the Atman, the Brahman, the Sunyam, the Torah or the Tao, whatever it may be. That is the eternal, and that eternal is manifesting in its diversity. And I, with all my devotion, I hold on to it. Eka Bhakti. Now, these are the two qualities, Nitya-yukta, Eka Bhakti. Sri Krishna says, such a person who is known as Jnani, I am his most beloved, and I love him endlessly. Mutual. He loves me immeasurably, and I also love him very much. Tesham Jnani Nitya-yukta Eka Bhaktir Vishishyate. He is the most excellent of all of them. Vishishyate, outstanding, excellent. That type of a human, known for which, who falls under the definition of Jnani. Who is Jnani? Nitya-yukta Eka Bhakti. And he is excellent. Priyo hi jnanino aham arthatham. I am extremely, immeasurably dear to him. And because of that affectionate affinity, he is inseparable from me. Because he is inseparable from me, he is very dear to me. He is my beloved. I love him. He is my dearest. God says in return, simultaneously reciprocal. You love me, I love you. It's about worldly. We are in love together. I love you, you love me. It is reciprocal. That reciprocity has been taken up. And it is between Jnani and Ishvara, Parameshvara. Now, dear, this is the meaning of the shloka. And as I continuously keep on telling you, my purpose is to tell you how to apply these ideas into your day-to-day life. That is why I am here for. I have nothing else to do but this. The scriptures are informative, are educative, are instructive, and ultimately it describes what it will make out of you, what will be your description when you reach that goal. Informative, educative, instructive, and descriptive, describing what you will be when you achieve this. Sthita Prajna, and all these words, Purushottamaha, Jnani, Atyarthi, all these are directing towards that. So, we have been informed, and that information has graduated into an education. Now comes the instructive part of it. This is the fun of the game. Please try to get into it. Don't stop feeling happy with synonymous word-to-word meaning. How to put it in your life, how to be a part and parcel of these ideas and saturate yourself with these ideas. As soon as you do so, You love God with whole your life, and in return God loves you equally. So what is Nitya Yukta? And what is Eka Bhakti and how to practice it? The instructive part of the study of the Gita. We have done with information, we have done with education. Now instruction. As I am today, I find myself far, far, far away from God. Once in a while, it comes to my mind, I repeat my Ishta mantra a few times, forget about it. Out of 24 hours multiplied by 16 to 60, I don't know how many millions it make. Of those million seconds, 10, 20, 30, 40, say 50 seconds. In a scrappy manner, I remember. The Gita tells you, if you want to be Nitya Yukta, get into the habit of habit formation. What is a habit? And habit is something which you consciously or unconsciously perform over and over and over again, and each performance leaves an indelible impression in your personality, and that a repetitiveness forms a habit. I am in the habit of being repetitive. How did that habit come? I kept on repeating over and over and over again for my understanding and trying to make it clear to you. So I kept on repeating these ideas. Each time I repeat, there is an indelible mark in my mind stuff, in my antakarana, in my personality, and that groove becomes deeper and deeper and deeper. You have seen a farmer ploughing his soil, and he ploughs on the same line 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. Each time he's going deeper and deeper and deeper. Why? When he allows the water to flow, the water will not be overflowing. It will be contained by the 2 banks because it is deep. This is an example. Now come here. Let us see what is Nitya Yukta means. I know I am honest enough, I am sincere enough, I am forgetful about God. That's a fact of life and I accept. The instruction is that forgetfulness can be corrected if you make it a repetitive, continuing effort. Repeat your Ishta mantra over and over and over again, and don't be parrot-like mechanical. Think of what that mantra means. He is in me, I am in him. He and me are inseparables. Keep on repeating this. Keep on repeating this. Every time you repeat, you're creating a samskara, you're creating a smriti, a memory, a groove. And the groove becomes so deep, your thought process goes through that groove, doesn't overflow the banks. It is contained and it is a direction. Eka Bhakti is the direction. Nitya Yukta is the effort. Let me repeat over again. Please now, this is the instructive part of the Gita. Sri Krishna says, of the four who are Sukritina, Artha, Jigyashu, Artharthi, Gyani, of these four, Gyani loves me no end. I am his whole and soul of his being. He is totally saturated with me, infatuated with me because he loves me. Therefore, in reply, in a reciprocal manner, I love him. This is the meaning of the shloka. And we are serious students of spiritual discipline. Would I not like to be loved by God? So if I have to be loved by God, then I must try to love him. In the world also, see, love is an emotion which binds two different personalities together. So I am at one end, God is at the other end. So the instruction is, be very, very, very consciously repetitive. If you forget, remind yourself, I've forgotten, come back again. It is a tug of war between forgetfulness and remembrance. I forget and I'm aware I've forgotten, I remember. I forget, I again forget, I remember. It's a tug of war between forgetfulness and remembrance. And more you put in your effort, that quotient of effort creates an unstoppable force known as repetitiveness, which is the cause of habit formation. Nitya Yukta means you, dear, as you are, forgetful about the divine, as you are, you now promise to yourself, I will try to create an unstoppable force of habit in me by repetitiveness, so that awareness of presence of God becomes natural to me, as natural as breathing. Nobody makes any effort to breathe and exhale and inhale. It is a natural process. When you are asleep, when you are deep asleep in Sushupti, you keep on breathing. It's a natural process, effortless. Let the remembrance of the divine, and what is the anchor of that remembrance? Your Ishta Mantra. Hold on to that Ishta Mantra, totally. And let that tug of war between forgetfulness and remembrance, let the remembrance side win. Because my willpower is supporting remembrance and my willpower is rejecting forgetfulness. The will comes in, rationality comes in, devotion comes in, and your ingenuity comes in. You'd like to do it the way you can do it comfortably. Eka Bhakti Vishishvate, Nitya Yukta Purusha, who becomes Eka Bhakti, and because of Eka Bhakti, he doesn't divert his attention to various types of God. Even if he sees various types of God, he knows God is one. The sages call him by many names. The sadhakas had seen him in many forms, and those descriptions are engraved in pictures. And the Jnanis, they have become one with the spirit. Nama, Rupa, Para, gone beyond it, beyond Nama and Rupa. But to reach that space of Nama and Rupa beyond, let us concentrate on Nama, Rupa first, and then Nama, Rupa will disappear. What remains is experienceable, not describable. So the instructive part of this shloka is that, dear, put your heart and soul, your whole personality with all its emotional feeling and rational understanding, divert it towards God. Anchor those ideas on your Ishta mantra. Keep on repeating that Ishta mantra over and over and over again, relentlessly, unstoppably. If you forget, you will be aware you have forgotten, come back to it again with your willpower. Tat japaha tat artha bhavatam. So slowly and slowly, that force of habit takes over you, have full control on you, and you will see 90% of your mind is busy, aware with the inseparateness with the divine, who is your true original nature, and with 10% you live in this world, which is nothing else but the manifestation in diversity. God's manifestation in diversity. You see Him meditatively and you see Him with wide open eyes. How? Isness of everything is the spirit behind. Nama, Rupa, Guna, Artha, Kriya, Karitva has disappeared. The name, the form, the qualities, and the utilitarian value has disappeared. You are one with God through deep meditation and during your flow of life in the world. You are one with Him. He is your beloved, the most dear, and God reciprocates. He calls you, you are my dear child. Now, dear, when you read the Gita or the Upanishad, don't stop by being well informed. Don't stop by being well educated. Go a step further. Be instructed properly, totally, thoroughly, correctly. And saturate your being with it, and the total saturation will have two outlets. One, when you are in deep meditation, when the world does not disturb you, and then you wake up, Bhuttana, Bhuttit Avastha, you live in this world with your eyes and ears and five senses open, interact with this world, with all its diversity. You see the divine and the divine alone. You see nothing else but the divine. This is the description of what will happen to you. But concentrate on instruction first. Description will follow immediately later on. It will come automatically. So, dears, let me read this shloka and go forward. Shloka number 17. Tesham, of the four that I have categorized before, Artha, Jigyashu, Artharthi, Jnani. Of those four, Tesham, Jnani, Nityayukta Eka Bhakti Vishishyate. Nityayukta Eka Bhakti Jnani, of whom Tesham Jnani Nityayukta Eka Bhakti Vishishyate. He excels of all humans. That is, his human life and human birth is successful. He has achieved his goal in life. He is made in the image of God. He has merged himself with that image, God himself. Pratibimba and Bimba, sun and the sun's reflection in water. It's an earthen pot. You see two suns, the original sun and the reflected sun. You break the pot. Where does the reflected sun go? Goes back to the bimba, goes back to the original. Break this separateness in you, and your Chaitana, your awareness will merge with that. Destroy that separateness which is caused by Maya Aparita Jnana. So we have studied the 17th chapter informatively, educatively, instructively. Now let us move to the 18th. Now I have a question. How did you be so partial with the Jnani? God should not be partial, sir. We are all your children. Somebody is not so able, somebody is very able, but we are your children. And you say, he is Vishishyate, he excels, and he is my great favorite. Now you are being partial. Immediately, Sri Krishna in this 18th shloka corrects this mistake if you have to make. Udara sarvam eva ete. Ete sarvam udara eva. It's just out of the world. Don't misunderstand me. I am talking on facts of life. All my children, whether they are dushkritina, vicious people, or whether they are sukritina, virtuous people, all of them, they are beloved by me. They are very noble at heart, whether they know it or not, but they are noble at heart. Udara eva ete sarva. Sarve ete, all of them, udara eva. They are verily very noble, and I love them all. Jnani tu atmaiva me matam. Why did I say them? They are excellent, they excel over and above, they are the supreme and all that. Vishishyate. Why did I use that? Because he has lost his individuality and he has merged in me. You still have your individuality. Though you are great, though you are noble, though you are very good, though you are virtuous, you are good people. I love you. But this person is very dear to me. Why is dear to me? Because he is one with me. There is no separateness. He is one with me. I love him because of that. He has lost his individual separateness. Udara sarva eva ete. Why? Now he is justifying. Jnani tu atmaiva me matam. But Jnani tu, by contrast, tu is by contrast. Tu binyoge. Binyoge means by contrast. By contrast, Jnani atmaiva me matam. He has become one with me. He has merged in me. That is why he is more beloved than others. I love them, but he has been one with me. That is why he is near to me. He is near to me, he is dear to me because he is one with me. So he is immediately trying to correct if by our misconception we misunderstand him as if he is very partial. Jnani is the best, Jnani is the best. Why Jnani is the best? Because Jnani has lost his individuality and Jnani has merged in me. Jnani tu atma eva me matam. My considered opinion is me matam. My considered opinion is that Jnani is one with me. Other three categories have yet to reach that stage. That is why Jnani is near to me and Jnani is excellent, excels over and above them, Vishishvati. So that is how Sri Krishna immediately makes sure that the students do not have a misconception that God is partial. Udara sarve vates jnani tu atmaiva me matam asita sahijuktatma mameva anuttamam gati. Asthita, poised, yuktatma. Poised by what? Aware of the majesty, the excellence, the regality of his own divine nature. That is why he is close to me. Mam anuttamam gati. The last supreme apex of the journey, the end of the journey. He has achieved that end of the journey, the goal, which is my true original nature, and he has merged his individual self by renouncing the individuality and separateness, and he becomes one with me. He is again praising that Jivana Mukta Purusha. He who has, by his own efforts, by the teachings of his teacher and the scriptures, by the compassionate blessings of God, has been able to merge his individual, egoistic being into the divine, and his individual separateness has fallen off. That is what he is. Udara sarva evaite. All the other categories, they are all very noble, and I love them. But I have to, by contrast, tell you that of those four, these three belong to a category, and the fourth category, known as Jnani, he is very dear to me. He has excelled over others because he, by dint of his effort, by holding on to the teachings of his teacher and the scriptures, and by my compassionate grace, has been able to merge his individual self with me, the cosmic self. That is why I praise him so much. Udara sarva evete jnani tu atmaiva me matam asthita sahijuktatma. Asthita. He is poised, unshakably placed, as if you are sitting on this chair. I am unshakably placed until and unless I will to stand up. So, Asthita Sahi Jukta Atma. He is poised because of constant communion with me, Jukta Atma. What is that? The excellence, the majesty, the regality of his true original nature. Asthita sarve veite jnani tu atmaiva me matam asthita hi yuktatma mam eva anuttamam gatim. Anuttamam here, there is nothing beyond that apex. Uttama anuttama, unsurpassable excellence. Anuttama means unsurpassable excellence. There's nothing beyond that. They have, the Jnani Purusha have merged in me. This is how, dear, the 18th verse, 18th shloka is ended. Now, having studied it, say for instance today's study, 17th and 18th, we are prone to believe it is beyond me. I can't. As I am today, I can't. That despondency, that despair that I cannot, Sri Krishna is wiping away in the 19th shloka. How you can, he will explain to you in the 19th shloka. So see how each shloka is linked with each other. And that is how the sequence of thought of the Bhagavad Gita flows from the first shloka of the first chapter and ends in the last shloka of the last chapter, 700 and some odd. So dear, I think enough for today. We meet again next Sunday at 9:30 to study the 19th verse. And what does that verse teach you? Don't be despairing. Don't get disheartened. Don't get distressed, thinking that as you are constituted today to reach that anuttamam gatim, unsurpassable excellence, it is not for you, it is beyond you. Don't have that depression, I would say, desperation or that depression. It is beyond me. Don't think that. He will teach you how you can, as you are constituted, reach to that height of unsurpassable excellence. Anuttamam gati. Thank you, dear friends. Thank you ever so much. Thanks for your patience and thanks for your attention. God bless us all.
Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.